Hey guys, and welcome to Gwent, the Witcher card game. My name is Jaggerous, and today is Fan Friday, meaning that I'm going to be playing a deck submitted by you guys. And today's Fan Friday deck comes from Tiendking, or Tiendking, I'm sorry if I'm saying this wrong, and this is the Tiendking Raining Points deck. This is basically an Axeman deck, so we have Harold the Cripple as our leader, split 10 damage randomly between enemies on the opposite row. And the gist of an Axeman deck is that you're going to use your clan Axeman. Whenever an enemy on the opposite row is damaged, boost self by 2. So you're going to be placing this opposite to units and then damaging those units. Because every time you damage a unit, he boosts. Similarly, Derran, silver card, whenever an enemy is damaged, boost this unit by 1. So between the Axeman and Derran, what we're looking to do is damage our units a lot. Or their units a lot, sorry, not our units. And by doing so, boost these guys into crazy numbers of points. So in this sort of deck, you want to deal a lot of little points of damage, if that makes sense. You want to deal small amounts of damage. So the gist of this is that Harold will do that because he does 10 damage randomly between enemies. So he does 1 damage each time. So each of those 1 damages will boost your units. Avalak is fantastic because you both draw 2 cards, but what that means is the round gets extended by 2 rounds. And this deck uses a lot of weather, so extending the rounds is really useful for that. Then we have Birna Bran, apply Skellige Storm to an enemy row. So this is really good on the row opposite the Axeman because this deals damage 2, then 1, then 1. So again, nice card. We have Geralt Igni. This is maybe one of the cards you could switch out. Destroy the highest unit on an enemy row if that row has a total of 25 or more. Igni is a good card. It's a very good card. You can use it to remove high point units, but the thing is it maybe doesn't synergize so well with your Axeman strategy. So it depends whether you're using this just to remove big targets. And also occasionally is dead. Other cards you could consider using Ard is not bad here. Deal 3 damage to 3 enemies and move them to a row above, so we can use this to reposition enemies, but also to deal damage if we want to set up our Axeman. Similarly, Yennefer, deal 1 damage to the highest enemy on turn end. She's good, but she gets removed a lot because she has 9 points, which is, the right number of Alzur's Thunder. Although I believe she's getting buffed in the next patch. There's actually a patch today. This was recorded before the patch, so some of these things may change. But I wanted to still do a Fan Friday video for you guys. So we have Yennefer. She's also a viable alternative, for example. Anyway, next up we have Ulfheiden. Deal 1 damage to all enemies. If the enemies are damaged, deal 2 damage instead. So we're going to be damaging enemies, so we're likely to get the 2 damage. But also just dealing 1 damage to everyone on a 5 body is pretty good. Next up we have Udalric. Look at 2 cards from your deck, draw 1 and discard the other. Udalric is a spy, so this gives you card advantage, but also this extends the round by 1, or the game by 1 turn. And extending the game by turns obviously is great for your strategy because you're using weather. Then we have Derran, who I mentioned. He gets boosted whenever anyone gets damaged. Seg will allow us to resurrect Derran, or an Axeman. Skellige Storm, again, we just apply the weather, and this is maybe a kind of later turn play, but we're getting some more weather on the board. Restore allows us to resurrect an Axeman or Derran, so that's really good. And then Summoning Circle, you can use this to duplicate your Udalric or a spy if they play a spy, although in the next patch that won't work, so just be aware of this. Alternatively, if they play a gold card after you play Derran or an Axeman, you can actually use it to duplicate an Axeman. But this is maybe one of the cards that would likely see change after the patch is dropped, simply because Summoning Circle no longer works on spies, and that's typically the way that you would want to use it. So in that case, you could maybe run Aeromancer, for example, to give you extra weather. I mean, it's not rain. Alternatively, Gremist actually is really good because he gives you rain. So if you're going to switch out Summoning Circle with the patch, I would maybe suggest running Gremist. Then we have the kind of bread and butter of this deck. So we have our Axeman, and we have 2 Battle Maidens, which will allow us to pull out more Axemen. So we can use the Battle Maiden to get a second Axeman. Then we also have 2 Priestesses of Freya, and we have 2 Herbalists. Herbalists play a random bronze, organic, or hazard card from your deck. So Herbalists will allow us to pull rain. So Tremors isn't an organic. I probably wouldn't run Tremors. Especially in the next patch. In the next patch, Tremors no longer spawns a Lesser Guardian. So at the moment, you deal 1 damage to all enemies, and if any were destroyed, you spawn a 6 strength unit. That no longer happens. Although Tremors is good, but I like it better with the kind of Ulfheiden body. So for me, I'm like a bit kind of hit and miss with Tremors. We have 2 Rains though. Rain is really good because it does 1 damage to 2 units, right? So again, you're getting multiple hits, and getting multiple hits is good for Axeman. Priestesses of Freya will allow us to resurrect our units. I would probably actually take Tremors out and run a 3rd Priestess just because of how key to your strategy Axemen are. And then we have 3 Whale Harpooners. And this is kind of where people debate about what you would run in this deck. Harpooners move an enemy to the opposite row, then deal damage equal to the number of units on that row. So this is good because Axemen require units to be on specific rows, and people will play around that by putting units on different rows. But on the flip side, this isn't huge numbers of points. So, other cards that people kind of talk about running in this deck are things like the Warship, because this deals 1 damage 4 times to a single unit. So then you get 4 hits, which boosts your Axeman by 4. But, you know, your Axemen aren't going to get boosted if people are playing things on different rows. So I actually really like the Harpooners as a choice. I think for this deck you can get enough points, so hopefully it should work out pretty okay. Anyway, guys, that's the deck. If you like the video, please leave a like. And if you want to submit your deck for Fan Friday, then click on the Discord link in the description below and submit your deck in the Fan Fridays text channel. Without further ado, I'm going to jump into a casual game now, and I'll showcase this deck in action.
Up and at 'em, you lazy bastards! You'll sleep when you're dead.
Okay, so we are against Consume. In terms of the mulligan, what you're looking for is lots of Axemen and targets. We don't necessarily need this many Priestesses. And I'm actually inclined to throw Rain because we're going to pull those with Herbalist, and also Tremors because I think at this stage we're better to have units than Tremors. Tremors is nice, but realistically we want to find more Axemen. The good news that we have here is that we don't have any boats, which is bad news, but the good news is we do have a Battle Maiden, so we can actually pull out more Axemen. And we also have Sig, and what Sig allows us to do is resurrect Derran. And we have Restore, which allows us to resurrect Derran. And apparently he's playing Harpies on the back row, which is fantastic for us, because then we can play our Axemen. And that's going to get us a bunch of points. Okay, so now we can play Rain with a Herbalist. And obviously, we don't have to put her on the same row. So let's do that. Set up the Rain, and hopefully this Harpy will land on the back row. It didn't, which is a little bit of a shame. But all in all, this is still a good situation for us to be in. Cool, so let's pull another Axeman.
The mother goddess, she giveth and taketh away.
And the Harpy landed on our row, that row, which is really good for us. And it may actually be worth running Skellige Storm here if we want to just throw that out. But I think for now, more or less, it's okay. Because we have to... I was going to say, because we have Reses playing Derran this round is also actually a really viable option. So let's put him out now. And then these two are getting the points. The lock is a bit of a shame, but all in all, it's okay. The problem is, like, lack of boats means that we're going to have to make sure that our strategy kind of works out. Okay, so there is Fog. Fog is alright. I'm pretty sure this would give me a wolf, so I don't really want to play that. If we play Skellige Storm, we start to get more damage out. So let's play this, because this is going to buff Derran by 4 every time. Which is pretty nice. And the Harpies keep going on the back row, so that's good. So we're down, but the problem is we don't have a lot of plays we can make this turn. Like Priestess we can't make this turn. Sig we can't make this turn. Igni we might be able to play this turn, depending on what he plays. It depends if something goes on the back row. I think we have to play Harold here. But Harold is going to be a huge number of points. The problem is he's probably going to kill the Arrakis, and if he kills the Arrakis, then we only get 1 point from Rain. But you can see he's gone for carryover here. And now we are up a hell of a lot of points. We're very open to Scorch, but he's not going to Scorch us. So there's the pass. He does have 10 points of carryover, but realistically, we can probably play into this because we won on even. It's quite safe for us to play into this. Or we could pass and then draw another card, which would also be good because that puts us into the final round. Although as we drew Udalryk here, I'm just going to play out Udalryk. Do I want to mulligan anything? No. I don't think so. So let's play out Udalryk.
He's here. And
we'll take Birna. It means we discard Rain, but Birna gives us Skellige Storm, so I think it's worthwhile. Though it does mean we have a dead Herbalist in the deck now, so we have to be a little bit careful of that. So let's pass. And this gets us out of the round. We could have kind of stuck around with this round. But I think, honestly, going into the next round, where we have card advantage, we have 7 and he has 6. And also where we have last play is going to be really good for us. Because then we can burn up his Arrakis and stuff. The only problem we have is that he can eat things and put them on different rows. We actually have too many Resurrects here. I'm going to throw one of them. That's actually really good because that will give us our last Axeman. So we can resurrect an Axeman and then Battle Maiden an Axeman. And that'll give us another one. So we can res 1, restore 1. So on and so forth. Okay, so I think we start with Derran. No! Don't disconnect me. It still thinks it's... There we go, there we go. Oh, man. I think we start with Derran. Do we want Derran to be an 8? Or are we okay with him being a 6? I think we're okay with him being a 6. The other thing is, because Caretaker exists, we want to run Derran now, so that he doesn't Caretaker. Although, you know, if he had Caretaker, I think he would have Caretaker Derran as he had first play. So, we'll see. This also gives us a little bit of an idea of how he's going to set up his units. Okay, so we can do this and resurrect an Axeman. Game, hello? Hello? Am I disconnecting again? Oh no, come on! Oh, there we go. Put him in the middle there. Twirsec, let's go. So the issue that we really have is we don't actually have that much. We only have one weather. Because we can't resurrect the herbalist because she's not a... Although we could restore her, but there's no weather left in there. We do have Birna though. So I think we play Birna next and then we pull another Axeman. Okay, that was weird. So... Skellige Storm time.
We shall do it my way.
The thing is, he can Arrakis Queen and take those out of the weather, but we can't put them back in the weather. We have one. Oh, he had Moonlight. I bamboozled. This is really bad for us. What is this going to spawn? A she-troll. I think this spawns a she-troll.
The mother goddess, she giveth and taketh away.
So what have we got in the graveyard? We've got one more Axeman. The problem is because we discarded Rain, we can't restore the Herbalist. Like the... What's it called? Play actually kind of hurt us. The, words are difficult. The... Udalric play, because we discarded the Rain. That does happen sometimes. So, like, realistically, I don't think we're going to get a big Igni, but we don't need to take it now. The question is, what do we want to restore here? And I suppose the answer is Clan Axeman. So, we'll get another Axeman and play him out in this row, so that we're ready to deal some damage. That's cute. So harpooner this guy onto the middle row. It means we get 4 points. We're down 3, but we have Igni in hand, so I think it's probably fine. What does this give me? This gives me another harpooner now. It's actually pretty good. That's pretty good. You can come party here too. And let's just play the Igni. I like how I was like, you know, Igni, maybe not what you want to run in this deck, but it just did just win me the game after we lost out on weather. Because that is the thing with this deck, is like it is a bit weather dependent. But we do have 4 different ways of applying weather. Some people also like to run gold weather, so that's another thing you could actually run, is instead of Igni, you could run gold weather. Surprise Moonlight, to be honest. That kind of threw me. Anyway, let's jump into another game and I'll showcase this deck in action once more for you.
Onward! Attack! Here's the better loot than in your wildest, wettest dreams!
Okay, so we are against Harold. We're going to throw the Rain, because obviously we don't want that. There's Derran, there's 2 Axemen. No boats. We never seem to find boats. I'm going to throw 1 Priestess. There's Ulfheiden. I'm wondering if we keep Udalric. I think we do. I think we leave it at this. It's a little bit awkward, no boats, but we can work around it, I think. My turn. Do we play Udalric here? It might be worth just opening with Udalric. The problem is if I open with Udalric, he'll just pass. So I guess we play Derran.
No. No.
Okay, so there's a guy. He is a guy. Question is he going to play units in the back row? Because realistically, we want to weather a row which has more than one unit in it. But we don't have a better second play here. So, but we can actually put Udalric in the back row. So let's play Rain on the back row.
Mother's grace is boundless.
This is the tricky part of this deck, is just sequencing, because you want to play Axeman once, you know, a row has a bunch of units on it. But you don't necessarily know when that's going to happen.
Trouble approaches.
So now we could play Udalric. Can we catch him if we play Udalric? That's the question. I guess we can catch him with Harold, right? Or we play a Clan Axeman. Let's play a Clan Axeman. This puts us ahead. I want to be at a stage where, you know, multiple things are going to get buffed by my thing play. Oh, that's frustrating. Okay. Because realistically, we also want to get points from this. So we could just play Skellige Storm. I think we play Skellige Storm for now. We have to be a little bit careful about playing too much weather. But, like, that Skellige Storm is going to buff Derran. Oh, crap. Now we can pass for 2-card advantage. I messed up my maths. He's not going to pass.
Darn. Up. Yes, sir.
And then we can play this other Axeman in the middle row. And then he gets buffed by the Skellige Storm. And then we can play Udalric on the back row. And I think we're in a pretty nice spot.
Bloody non-humans.
That's a fair few points. What's our Igni? 10. At the moment our Igni, it kills Odrin. Or we just ult fight in and get a bagillion points. Let's do it. I think ult fighting is also good because it hits these guys. And if it hits these guys, then what that does is... I was going to say it removes points from them, so then if he plays the blue stripe scouts, he doesn't get any points.
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
Okay, so we take the Udalric play here for free into the weather.
Be pleased.
And we take the priestess, because I'm going to need them to resurrect my Axeman, and I think we throw the tremors. Although drawing tremors here would have been a big play. We are quite far ahead.
Can't take it anymore.
So now we can pass for 2-card advantage. But I think winning on even is kind of okay. Can burn a 7. I don't really want to play Udalric this turn. We're going to get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Like, we're getting a lot of points. Let's just pass. And it's 2 turns of a lot of points. Oh, but, oh yeah, he's got a lot of units on the row, actually. I forgot about Odrin. That kind of counteracts it. Hopefully Odrin goes to the back row. If Odrin goes to, I was gonna say if Odrin went to the back row, would we be ahead? Yeah, if Odrin had gone to the back row, we would have been ahead. That came down to chance, boys and girls. That came down to chance. Herbalist gives us weather. Harpooner is not bad. What do we keep and what do we throw? What's in his discards? Okay, we could. I think we throw Igni. Avalak. Avalak is good. And we can summoning circle this spy, so that's fine as well. Bear in mind you can't do that with the next patch. But for now we can play this bullshit strategy. We still have to play one more card. Oh, we're gonna discard the rain. So we'll take Sig, and we'll discard the rain. Oh no, we don't discard it because it's not Udalric, is it? Oh man, summoning circle party.
Who takes an interest in cop?
Okay, so we play Avalak.
You will see it in your dream.
We got a Battle Maiden and Igni. That's not bad. We're hoping to kind of mess up his strategy because he's only played one commando. So if we can kind of force him into a commando situation, that'd be pretty good. Is he trying to push me here? I guess he is. What have we got in here? We've got 2 Axemen. So we could probably afford to spend a res. Or we spend the weather. And thin the deck, which is alright. It means we're more likely to draw Birna Bran.
Onward! Attack!
Okay, he wants to push this round.
Modern Freyr is patient, but she brooks no insult.
Honestly, I'm absolutely fine with this because I have 2 more reses and Herald and movement. So we're pretty okay. The one thing we would like is Birna or Restore. Restore is really nice. What do we throw here? This gives us a 3rd Axeman. I think again we throw Igni. We got another boat. I think that's okay. My turn. So let's restore Derran. And because we can play him on, you know, any row, which is good.
Salutations.
Then we'll resurrect an Axeman.
Who is virgin, mother, and crone.
And then we can resurrect the other Axeman and we can move everything to the middle row.
Regroup.
Cool. So we'll play this. Although we could also pull another harpooner. I think we've got 2 though, so let's do this. The problem is they're going to be the same strength, which opens us up to Igni. So that was kind of maybe a bit silly. That's fine. So let's do this just so they have different strength. And then we'll res one. But we're getting a bonus 30 points on Herald, which is kind of insane.
Time burn!
What do you need?
Come to Pappy.
Oh, he's got one in hand. Oh, feels bad. Right, we'll pull you to this row. I mean, I'm down quite a few points, but he has 1 Temerian and I have 46 points. So let the music play.
To arms, all of you.
Oh dear. Can't swarm me, buddy boy. Can't swarm me. See, the Avalak was good. The Avalak was good because he's running the scouts and the harpooners. Although, to be honest, if he had this in hand, he'd be up another... No, he'd be on 61 points, so he'd have to make up 22 points with his final play. Anyway, guys, that's Axeman. That's kind of how you play it. Obviously, in the next patch, I think you take out Summoning Circle and potentially add Gremist. And then maybe switch the Tremors for another res. But all in all, it's a fun deck to play. It's just very... You have to be very careful with your sequencing. And I think Gremist would be good also because it gives you another weather. So having that extra weather, especially the extra rain, I think would really help in the final round. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the deck in the comments below and what kind of decks you'd like to see going forward. If you want to submit your deck for Fan Friday, there's a link to my Discord in the description. Post your deck in the Fan Friday channel. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. And if you've enjoyed the video, maybe subscribe. You can find me on Twitter at Jaggerous, and you can follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Jaggerous. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!